Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Let's talk embedded. In this video, we'll be demonstrating how to create a C project in Microsoft Visual Studio. So I have divided this entire video into two parts. In the part 1, we can basically see the basic project creation. Then we can see a little bit on the project filters and the project properties. So what are the filter files and project files. Then we can run the project and see the outcome. In part 2, we will be looking at some more organized way uh, to develop the project, or having the folder structure in place, and we'll see more about the filters and properties. We can also see how we can configure the project for different platforms to run. We can also see the debugging versus release options. So if you are just a beginner and you wanted to know how to create a project, then you may skip part 2 if that is overwhelming for you. So let's deep dive into part 1. So you can get the Microsoft Visual Studio from the website visualstudio.microsoft.com. This is the official website, and you can see there are various versions of the Visual Studio, like the Windows based and the Mac based. So you can download as per the machine you're using. uh, so if you see what version, let's say for the Windows, what which tool is the best, so we can probably look into this link. So there are three options for the Visual Studio. One is a community option, where it's the free for students and open source contributors and individuals. The professional IDE is best suited for small teams. We can develop some commercial application. It's for the commercial use, and if you have the larger enterprise uh, teams, then probably you can have the complete end-to-end solution when you can purchase the enterprise version. But for our purpose to learn more on the C, the community version is the best options. I have already installed the Microsoft Visual Studio Community version 2019. So let's open Microsoft Visual Studio and get started. When you open Visual Studio, you probably get the screen similar to this when you are first time opening the tool, and you'll get some options at the right hand side to clone a repository, open the already existing project or solution, open local folder, and create new project. Since we don't have any project created, we can go ahead and choose the last option, which is create a new project. Okay, so it will ask us for different options. So what type of project you want to create? So I will just simply go ahead and create the empty project for now. I select the empty project, and then you can select the next option. So it will ask us to give a location where you want this project to be at, and the project name itself. So remember, the project name, whatever the name you're giving, it will create the, the folder with that name. So you'll expect this particular folder, let's say exercise O1, in the given location. So I want to change this location, so I'll go ahead and choose my customized locations. In that case, I will choose D projects. Let us see. So this is the path I want my project to be created, and there is an option to place solution and project in the same directory. So I want that option to be checked, so we can see what does that mean. So when you can go ahead and create the project. Okay, so it has created the project, and it opened one uh, screen for us, and we can see different sections in this tool. So this is the main section where basically we can work on the source code, that is the C programs. And there are various other sections where we can basically customize these sections as per our need. So at the bottom there is output section where we can see there is a error list, which will give us the information about the errors or warnings in our C program that we want to resolve. Then there is an output folder which will basically give us the output, probably the major steps when we compile and the run projects. At the right hand side you can see there is Solution Explorer tab, where you can see there is a solution called exercise underscore 01 created, and under that you have this again the exercise 01, and you can see some folders created here. And you can see there's a filter icon here, so we call this as a filters. uh, so let's go back to our folder structure and see what it has created for us. So inside my path, this exercise 01 is created, and when I open that, you can see there are several files created. So this .vs file, which is the like some internal files or temporary files that Visual Studio wants to store for its working. So we can ignore this. So there is a .sln file which is a solution file, and there's different files like vcx project, then vcx project.filters, and vcx project.user. Okay, now let's go back to our Visual Studio application. You can see I have deleted the resource files filter or folder just by simply right clicking, and I have deleted from this delete option because I don't need that for now. Under source file, so I will create one source file which is going to be our main source file. So you can see the add option, and you can see there are various options. So if you want to create a new item which is not existing in your project, you can select the new item. If the item is already there in your project, you can probably select existing item. And if you want to create a new filter inside this project, so new folder for this project, you can create the new filter option. So I will create the new item, and then it will ask us to basically select what type of file you want. So we want the code file, and I'll select the first option, that is C++ file. So note that using these options you can also create the C files as well as C++ files. So for C files I just have to change its extensions to .c and not .c++. But even for the project, the file name, I want the file name to be main.c. So it has created one main.c file under the source file. Let's open that main.c file. So let's start writing the code. Let's say the standard code to print the hello world. So we'll first add the standard IO library, and we will call the main function. So if you're not familiar with this C coding yet, so don't worry, just follow whatever I am showing here for now. Though it's very simple code, it's not mandatory that you have understanding of this, what's going on. So I'm just what I'm doing here is I'm calling a printf function which will basically print the hello world string on the output window, right? So what are the outputs? So we can just go ahead and see the output file. So if you select this project and right click, you can see under properties, you can see the general configurations, advanced debugging, and various options. So in general configurations, you can see the configuration type we have choose is the application, that is .exe. So our output will be in the form of exe, and that exe we can run on these Windows PC. So we cannot run this exe on any other like embedded system hardware which is available. So this exe can only be run on the Windows based software. So we can choose the application here. Okay, and then there are different like platforms. One is a debug platform and one is a release platform which is created here. And you can also see under the debug we have two options, that is x86 and x64, and under release we also have the two options, which is x86 and x64. So let's start with the debug platform, and we can start building the project. So in order to build the project in the debug mode, you can go in the under the build, you can select the first option, build solution, or you can also use a shortcut control shift p. Now it is building the project. So you can note that in output window it is giving us the status of our building operation. So it will take a while. So it seems it is started building the main.c, because that's the only file we have. And you can see it's created some application .exe file called exercise01.exe under this project path. uh, we can run this application here by clicking this local window debugger, and it will open a separate window, and which will basically print that hello world string for us. And then this window will ask us to press any key to close this window itself. So this way you can basically try your application, and if you want to debug something, you can print at the debug console, and you can get the hint of what's going on inside your software. This is the one way to like run the software, but there is another way you can directly go and launch the software from the exe. So go to the exercise folder, and you note that there is a debug folder created which was not there before. As we build the application in debug mode, it's created a debug folder. So inside debug there are a lot of files created, which we call it as output artifacts, and not necessarily all the files are required, but the main file in focus is the exercise01.exe. So let's try running this file. So double click and launch this exe. You can notice that the exe is momentarily opened and it's closed automatically. So why it's going on? Because it will run this program and it will exit, because there is no a infinite loop in this project, right? So it will terminate the project and it will stop the exe. So in order to keep the project running, so in most of scenarios in the C applications, we have some endless loop, either at the end of the program, or maybe the entire application is running in one endless loop, so that the application keeps running unless we manually stop the application. So let's add the while one loop, which will basically stop at this statement infinitely. So let's run this program, or maybe build this program. Okay, it got built, and you can go in the same debug full path, and you can launch the exe. And at this time you can note that the exe is launched, and you can see the hello world string. But at this time the exe is not terminated, so you can see the window is all the time visible. That means we are stuck at that while one loop. Okay, so there is another option we can just see, that is the release. So I'll just give a quick demo, but we can see about debug and release options in the part 2. So I select the release folder for now, a release option for now, and I will do the build the application with build option. Okay, now you can note that the output window, it has created some log of the build process, and you can see where we have the applications created. So in this case, it is not created in the debug folder, but it is created in the release folder. So let's go back to our project directory, and you can notice here there is one more folder created which is called as a release, and you can see the similar output artifacts created and one exercise.1 uh, underscore 01.exe. Let's launch this exe, so you can probably get the same outcome with this release. Now let's talk about some project files which are created when we create this project. So we can see in the Visual Studio application, there is a solution which has been created, and under that solution you have this exercise as a project. And if you go back to folder structure, you can see there is a .sln which is solution file, then there is a vcx project file, and there's one more file which is a filter. So you can note that there can be multiple projects that we can create under one solution. So this project will give the outcome as the exercise 01.exe. But now we can create some multiple projects, and we can create different outputs, and then we can basically combine all the projects in the solution, one solution. If you open the solution file, so you can see what are the projects involved in this. So there's only one project, the project name, and so the project file itself, which is created by .vcx so there are and the other options. uh, so all these options, you can see all the four options are created here. Then there are two more files, the VCS project file itself and the filter files, filters.filter. So you can go and see those files. So in the .vcx project, you can see all the project configurations that are created, which are mentioned here. This is more like the XML format. So if we don't know about the XML format, that's fine. We can just see what are the things created here. Uh, then there are some things which are important to note. Is if you scroll down all the way down, so you can see this item group. So this could be created in anywhere in this XML file. So in this case, it's created at the bottom, and here you can see it is including the main.c file. So it's telling that project that please include main.c file in the projects when you build a project. Then in the dot filters file, you can see there are different filters created. So if you go here, you can see the filter which is called as a source file. So that nothing but the folder or the category or container which is created inside the project. So this not necessarily means that the folder with the same name is created on the in the root directory, but this is just the segregation inside the project. So inside the project you can have different filters like source files and the header files and all the extensions of the files that this particular filter should support. And you can also see the main.c file is included, but that file is included under the filter name source files. So if you go back to the solutions, you can see the main.c is created under the source files, but in our root directory there is no such source files or header files. That's just the containers or the categories created in the project, and we call that as a filter. And in this case, you can see the main .c file is created at the root level, and the same you can see at here. So there's only file name mentioned here, and there is no path. That means this is the file name should be taken from the root folder, and the same is true for the project file. So this is just a very brief about the filters and projects files. So for part one, we have successfully accomplished our goal by creating the project and running a simple program in a debug and release environment. For the part two, I have created a separate video, so do check that video. The link is at top right corner. Thanks for watching this video, and if you have any specific details to see or any topics, please let me know in comment section. And if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Thank you.